Hey, welcome back to the channel. So for this video, we're going to be doing a little bit of work to the boat. We're going to be doing a lot of work to the boat. So I want to start to get it ready to get it painted. I have an idea on how I plan to do that. And what I want to do as part of that plan is I want to glue the deck pieces in before I paint it. Which creates a little bit of an issue, but not a big one. I want the turrets to turn. And if you glue the deck on, you can see there's nowhere under there to put the little pin on for the turrets, because these just sit into here, and then this little pin here goes in there, and then it's wider than the hole, and it keeps that inside of there. So I want them to turn, and I don't want them to just be on there, held in with gravity. So, so I have a little bit of a plan to make this happen. So the first thing we're going to do is we got to put the deck on. And then, we're going to use power tools. Okay. Okay, yeah, there we go. That looks good. See, drilled a real nice hole right directly under there. And then same thing with this. Okay. Okay, now that we have our holes in the hole, we can move this stuff out of the road. Pop this out, and then I'm going to use a step drill for the next part here. And kind of the same deal, just like that, and then that should give me more than enough room to drop that pin in. So how's that, huh? I don't know how much more juice this drill has in it. Yay, it worked. Oh, that's awesome. I didn't even think about that before I started this. I should have made sure the battery was up and running, but hey, it worked, so it worked. Good enough. I am happy with that. So let me clean this up a tiny bit. And let's get to gluing this stuff on, shall we? So not really much to this, just, you know, just gluing it on. Okay. So the plan is to prime everything, and then I'm going to spray the brown for the deck. Because a lot of this is wood. Plan to spray all that and then come back in. Anyway, sorry. I plan to spray all the tan for the deck. And then we'll come in and we'll hit the rest of it with the... We'll pick up the rest of it with the haze gray for the sides. And then we'll detail out a lot of the stuff on the deck, and then we'll... Oops. Okay. Just almost made a mistake there. That kind of covers that, so I need to Dremel this bit out of here. So let me... Sorry, I hate reaching in front of the camera like that. Let's see, I guess it doesn't matter what I use to mark this. Okay. Oh, crap. I hope I didn't goof this thing up. I wasn't even thinking. Oh no. Okay, don't just do that. Oh, thank God I got away with that one. Oh, barely. Barely. Okay, so be cognizant of how big that hole is because it has to fit under that turret ring there. I almost messed that up to the point I don't think I could fix that. Whew. Oh. Well, that was a Christmas miracle come early. Holy cow. Wow. So yeah, I know you plan. I know you make plans, and I know you have an idea on what to do, but or at least I do. And sometimes I just do them wrong. So don't be like me. Make sure you have a much better understanding of where all the parts on this are going before you start just grinding away at stuff with the Dremel. That was dumb. I shouldn't have done it that way. I mean, the Dremel was fine. It worked great, but I should have had a better idea how deep I was going to make that. Oh, you live and learn, and thankfully that one didn't get too far away from me, so we're okay. I also wanted to say thank you everybody for the comments you've been leaving on the videos. I like them. I like hearing what you think. I love hearing what your interests are, that kind of thing. So always feel free to ask questions or give suggestions or gotta kick some of that extra glue off of there. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to come in and I want to get some of the other stuff glued together. Okay. Okay. I'm going to call that done for right now, and then we got a couple other items to take care of here. So, if you're following along, okay, you got 4 right there, which is D4 and D3. Actually, I have A6 and A7 I can take off real quick, because that's easy enough. A5, A6, okay, or A5, A4. Okay. Okay. I believe it's the same D4, D3 on, yeah, on turret number 3. Okay. So what I plan to do is I plan to paint those because the bags on the gun barrels are black. So I'll paint those the same tan, or the same haze gray, and then do the black and then glue them in here with this all being the same haze gray, and that'll look really good up against the tan of the deck. I'm thinking of one thing and I'm saying it out loud, and it's not really what I'm talking about, so sorry. Okay. 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 Yeah, that's on there nice. I'm happy with that. Okay. I'm happy with that. Okay, that's done. So let's do this seriously here. Okay, so D3, D4. So these are D's. There's 3, there's 4. There's 4. Okay. Okay. And that one's all cleaned up, so that can go in there. And here's your little tip. If you can get a hold of some of these little clear plastic containers, get these. I get these from a friend of mine. He's a machinist, and these come with machine tools in them. So he just pulls out the tool in a little foam packet and throws them away, and gives us these at our model club meeting. He's a club member, and they are just so handy. So if you can get your hands on something like that, I highly recommend it. Okay. There's that. So these have all been cleaned up. Okay. And don't sand that too much. It looks like there's a little bit of a box that goes on the end of those, so no need to really start whacking away with the sander here. Okay, that sits nice and flat, so that one's good. Okay, I'm not going to bore you with doing the other one. I mean, it's exactly the same thing. I really don't think you need to see it. I do, however, want to show these. So that one's there. Okay. Just want to make sure you got Okay. There's that. And then that's going to go in there. So I'm actually just going to put some glue from behind here. And I don't know what that does. I don't know what that piece is on the ship, but it's on there. So that's good. So okay, so that's kind of like step 2. And then let's see, 3 is that. We already talked about that. Okay, I think we are actually about ready to start painting this thing. So, like I said, let me finish all this stuff up off camera, and then I'll come back and we'll start shooting some paint. All right, so we're actually not going to be doing any paint work on the ship this episode. I'm sorry, I had a change of plan. So what I found was wooden deck kit for this thing. Now, if you can see how intricate all the cutouts are, I would have had to try to paint all that by hand, and that would have taken forever. So I found this and I figured, hey, you know what, that's gonna cut a lot of my build time out, so I just went with this. It's super cool. And then when I bought it, it came with this little 1/700 scale anchor chain. I don't think that's ever going to zoom in enough to really see that, but man. So I started working on where that goes. So I did a lot of this off Scrig, so I wasn't sure how it was going to work. We sell these scrapers, these plastic scrapers. So that's what I used. Just came in and kind of just pushed it along until it scraped off the old chain. If you don't really jam in, it'll just kind of ride along the base plastic. Worked beautiful. So I did that, and then I drilled 2 holes. Made sure that I found a drill bit that was just a little bit bigger than the chain. And then I drilled a hole right here where the chain goes below decks. And that I just drilled 90 degrees to it. And then you have to run the chain back where it comes out of these. And I guarantee you there's a naval term for those, and I don't know what it is. But that's where the chain comes out. So I did that on like a 45-degree angle. You can see how I'm doing that. Okay. And then just to double check. There's a lot of crap in that. Okay, there we go. And the chain will just sit inside of there. There we go. And then it'll come forward and go right over that and drop right into there. Haha. Beautiful, huh? That's so cool. So anyway, that's where we're at with that, and that's going to be the end of this episode. I had to wait a couple of weeks for these to come in, plus I wasn't home because we were doing the show, and so I know we're a little bit behind on this, and I'm sorry, but next episode we're gonna paint this, because I got to paint a couple of different colors. I got to paint, you know, all the haze gray, and then I got to paint all the deck gray, and then I got to paint the other gray here, and that's all going to be just super easy to do now that we got the deck kit. So we're going to do that, and that'll be our next show, our next video. So thanks for watching this one. I really do appreciate it. If you have any questions, any comments, you want to see me do something else, let me know. And as always, use code YouTube10, and you get 10% off all the paint, those scrapers. What else? Tweezers. We have a lot of stuff on there. Just get on there, double check it, see what you like. Everything's all on Scalefinishes. Again, YouTube 10 gets you 10% off everything. Again, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video.